of a girls hangout. So Rachel, come on in. Hi.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you doing?
Hi, good.
All right. So you guys, Rachel is the founder of Pixie Packs. I'm pronouncing that correctly, yes?
Correct.
All right. So let's start things off. Rachel, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, my name is Rachel. Hi, everyone. And I'm an online store owner at Pixie Packs, and I mainly sell health and beauty products. So previously, I was doing ad campaigns for a client as a content creator on my personal Instagram at PXDKitty.
Also, 10 out of 10. I just saw your cat jump down from the cat house.
Yeah, I'm a huge cat lover. I have like 5 at home.
I see them in the screen. Oh my gosh. Okay, like this is the highlight of my day. Okay, all right, I need to focus. All right, so how do you start off as an influencer? Because I know these things don't just happen. You don't suddenly become an influencer overnight. It takes time. So tell us a little bit about your journey about getting there, because you have over 100K followers on Instagram. So how did that happen?
I think I was kind of lucky because I had a blog shop when I was studying in university. So that was like maybe like 10 years back. And it was like a trend back then to like sell clothes online, you know, live journals and those like blogspot.coms. Yeah. And then I had quite a number of customers who were asking me like how to pair this item that I was selling at my shop. How do you match this pair of jeans? How do you match this pair of top? And I started like a blog to like share tips on fashion, and then slowly I also like to do some kind of like craft DIYs. So I started sharing those and also some lifestyle sharings. And then when Instagram started, everyone, like the attention span of everyone became shorter, and we all moved over to Instagram. And I think I was pretty lucky because in a way it's like the pioneer batch of people who started using Instagram, which back then there was this thing called the popular page. I don't know if like you guys remember, because it's like quite many years back. And then when you get featured on the popular page, usually you'll get a lot of followers. And I think that was how I was very lucky that I managed to build up the numbers through Instagram back then.
So how long did it take you to build up those numbers in a nutshell, if you could just like summarize it?
I can't really remember because I took a break off Instagram to focus on like a baking career. And then after that, I switched back to Instagram. And then now I'm doing like e-commerce. I think maybe 4 years, maybe. Yeah.
I see. Okay, I also forgot to mention earlier, guys, if you have any questions for Rachel or for me, just go right ahead, leave them in the Q&A box. We will answer them on the spot because we're basically in control of this session here. All right, so being such a successful influencer, you know, with so much influence out there, most people would just generally just stick to that because you can earn money by just being an influencer, you know, by posting and charging for posting. So what made you want to transition from an influencer into e-commerce?
Actually, this decision was made because of my shift, mine and my husband's shift to a vegan diet. And then previously, I was doing a lot of ad campaigns for clients who were selling meat, dairy, and egg products. And I was like a huge meat eater back then. So a lot of my clients were related around food, burgers, pizzas, steaks, and all these things. And then when we shifted our diet to a vegan diet, I had to like reject a lot of clients. And then obviously my source of income would be like limited and reduced. And then for me, it was an alternative source of income, and direct selling was a way that I could sell products that I curate on my own, that I felt aligned with my values, and I personally love to use. That was how I made the shift to like e-commerce.
Right. Okay, and now let's talk a little bit about the inspiration behind starting your e-commerce store. Like, where do you get your inspiration from?
Actually, it was from my love of like packing parcels and organizing my stocks. So I started with selling this beauty sponge, you know, like the beauty blender from Sephora.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So I started selling it and priced it affordably because I personally was using like a lot of it. And then I wanted to have it affordable for my customers. And I enjoyed packing the parcels so much. And that was how the name Pixie Packs came out, because it literally meant like Pixie as in PXDKitty, my personal Instagram, and Packs as in PACKS, packing the parcels. But because the Instagram handle Pixie PACKS was taken, so I changed to PAX instead. So yeah, that was how the Pixie Packs came about.
I think that's a very clever play on words. And I think you've got to be one of the very few people who enjoy packing parcels, because I do it sometimes too when I send things to my friends. It's a nightmare just to get all the bubble wrap in. So for you to enjoy that, I think that is out of this world.
feel like it's
But
really
yeah,
therapeutic. And
it's
especially,
therapeutic.
yeah, especially when like I seal up the parcel and it's like perfectly aligned, I'm like, feels good.
Okay, so I've got to keep that in mind. Like, if you can find some therapy from that, I should probably try that as well. Most of the time, I just get really frustrated. But okay, that's a good point. So, what makes Pixie Packs different from other brands? Because I know there are other brands who would probably buy and resell these beauty blenders. Okay, guys, for you out there, if you don't know what a beauty blender is, it's basically a makeup sponge which girls just use to evenly blot out the products on our face. Just to clear the air in case you don't know already. So what makes Pixie Packs different? Because you have several other products in there as well.
I think for ourselves, we pride ourselves in like effective products that I personally will use regularly. And I don't want to sell products that I don't believe in. So I think this part is a really strong branding for Pixie Packs. And also, we do provide good customer service as best as we can because I feel that online shopping is not just like paying for the products and that's it. It's a lot about customer service, follow up, and just letting the customers know the benefits of the product to give them the proper knowledge they need and for them to make informed choices and not just like randomly making a purchase. And then also, of course, efficient deliveries. So for myself, we use Easy Parcel. Yeah. So I think that really helps. And of course, for myself, I think initially I started with just one product, and then I took in a bit more and a bit more, and now it's like a little mama shop of my own. And I think it's a lot of convenience for the customers when they can buy like a few good products at once and just one courier charge, or maybe sometimes I give free courier. Yeah. So it's like convenience lah.
I like that. Okay, so my next question is like, okay, so you have a very strong sense of social media presence, correct? And a lot of people would say that a strong sense of social media presence actually helps enhance the credibility of brands. And I think, would it be wrong for people to assume that because you started off as an influencer first, that that gives your brand like instant credibility?
I don't think it's wrong for customers to trust the products that I curate for my store because, like, over the years, I do have quite a bit of experience with health and beauty products. And as a consumer myself, I know what customers are looking for in a product. And I have always shared and recommended products, be it food, fashion, or beauty, things that I love and I feel aligned with my values on my Instagram. And I think it really makes me happy and thankful when customers also trust our PixiePax products as well. And having said that, it doesn't mean that we take our customers' trust for granted. I do put in a lot of effort in my e-commerce stores in terms of like making posters to ensure customers are well informed about product benefits. I do share my own personal reviews. And then I also put a lot of effort in taking nice pictures for my Instagram. So it's like aesthetically pleasing for the customers.
Yeah, and I also noticed that you do this thing with your Instagram. I was going to show it, but my phone is kind of smudged with my fingerprint, so I'm not going to do that and gross you guys out. But you have this thing where you color coordinate everything. Like you have a whole block of colors, whether it's pink, it's blue, it's green. So tell us a little bit more about why you do that. Besides, I mean, obviously aesthetics is one of them. But is there any particular reason why you do that as well?
I think initially when I started selling things online, I just felt like, okay, the different brands of products that I'm selling, usually they'll provide marketing materials.
Mm-hmm.
So previously I would just, take random photos from these brands and then just post it on my Instagram. And then after a while, I realized that I got really bored of posting all these product photos. Like, what is the meaning to this? Like, there is no sense of belonging or pride when I post all these photos of products alone. And then there was one of the brands that I'm selling. They started this like a free gift that was pink in color. So I thought that, oh my God, it's so cute and so beautiful, the packaging. So I took like a pink dress of my own, laid it flat on the ground, and then put this pink box of free gift on the dress, and I took a photo. And I was like, wow, it's so nice if I could have like all the photos being pink. So that was how the whole color coding thing started, because I'm also quite fickle. I don't want my entire feed to be like a single color. So I would try to color coordinate according to my feelings or what props I have next. Or maybe like because recently I just launched a product that was blue in color.
Yeah.
So that was like a inspiration for me to change the whole theme to blue. And then I would do it for like, I think 36 photos. Yeah, 36 photos, and then I'll switch. So maybe it's like a month, a color a month.
Mm. I think it's very smart as well because just now Carol actually mentioned you get emotions from colors. And I think when you do that as well, you take people on a journey with you. They follow this feed of color for a while and then they wait for the next switch. And I think that's a very smart thing to do. I never really thought of the logic behind that until I started talking to you. Okay, so we've got a question from Sam. Now, Sam, the question is, it seems like you're selling other brands. Do you think customers will buy it from cheaper stores after they encounter the products on your site? And how do you overcome that? Do you ensure exclusivity with the brands you carry?
Okay. I know that with direct selling, a lot of new agents are very worried that like, oh, there are so many other sellers out there who would want to buy from me, and everybody would buy from the cheaper source, right? Usually those who sell at a cheaper price, they usually are either expired, counterfeit, or just very shady sellers in general.
Oh,
Because for all the direct selling products that I sell, the company enforces like same retail price for all sellers, regardless of whether you're an influencer or you're not, a new seller or experienced seller. So for us, we pride ourselves in following the company rules, of course, because we want to provide authentic products, better service, and we actually do go for trainings to ensure that we are able to properly inform customers of the benefits of the ingredients of the products. And also, I think for people to purchase from my brands, it's probably because we do provide some kind of service that they really enjoy. It's not so much of price comparison, because if you are really going for cheap price, then you wouldn't be the customer that I'm looking for. I would like to provide good service. I would like to give them an experience that they can enjoy, that they trust us, and also our recommendations. And if let's say they need any advice on how to properly use the products, I'm able to assist them and give them the best advice.
right. Sam, I think that was a very, very good question that you brought up. So guys, keep them coming. I like questions like this actually. It makes you think a lot. But yes, a very, very good question. Now, Rachel is here to answer any questions you might have in regards to being an influencer, turn into entrepreneur. So once again, keep your questions coming, but do put them in the Q&A box, and that way we can track them. All right. So Rachel, now in terms of how you curate your photos, is there any difference of how you do it on your personal Instagram and on your e-commerce store, or is it exactly the same?
Because I get to do my own product shots for all my products now, I'm shooting more without my face. So I'm experimenting a lot more with those product shots, different angles, different kind of styles, and I'm able to make my feed a lot neater, because actually the photos with the same color scheme, because I can post the same color theme on my store. And we do a lot of like nice visuals, and I hope that these visuals can make my customers like really enjoy shopping at Pixie Packs. And then I feel like the sharings that I'm doing have become a lot more personal and more casual compared to previously, when the postings are vetted for clients, and there's a certain way that I feel like I need to say things. And those would be like more obvious that those are vetted and paid campaigns. Whereas for now, you know clearly that these are my products, and I'll just say whatever I want about it, be it whether it's the pros or the cons, or like, okay, the main inconvenience of this is probably it's a bit more time consuming, but the benefits are this. So I make sure to, when it's a paid campaign for client, we will try our best to maybe not make the cons so obvious, because obviously the clients would not want the cons to be said. But when it's my own personal sharing about my products, I feel like I need to be really transparent with my customers. So these are the benefits and these are the cons. So you outweigh them yourself, and then you make a decision.
All right, that's really, really good advice. Now, you also mentioned about taking photos with less of your face in it. Now, there's a myth, or not really a myth, there's actually like a general rule that goes about when it comes to social media, that when you post photos with a face, there's more engagement to that. And when you post photos of a product itself, there's less engagement. So for people who are trying to transition from being an influencer into an entrepreneur, what would you suggest they do to start off with?
I think because usually for your personal Instagram, it's very like you-centric, where it's all your face and personal touch. But when it comes to an online store, I would really like Pixie Packs to be seen as a professional kind of like an online store, although we just started like last year. But I would like it to not have so much of my face where it's like, hey, here's a selfie of me with a product. Look at me, it's me again. I'm using this product, but more like maybe I can do posters of my product shots, and then I'll do a carousel posting, and then behind you can see the benefits, how this product actually works for you, and what type of skin or what type of body type is suitable for this product. So I would like it to be more of like a informative shopping experience rather than just, hey, look at me, it's me, buy this for me. I feel like that is a very shallow way of selling. So
Right.
we do like try our best to go for trainings to learn how to properly deliver the information about our products to our customers. And if let's say they want to see my personal review of using the product, probably I will direct them back to my personal Instagram. So I try to keep them separate and share also like other users' reviews on Pixie Packs. So it's not just like me. I feel like
Yeah.
I don't really want that image for my online store.
Correct, because like you mentioned, it's very eccentric to do that. And while yes, it might get a lot more engagement, I don't think it necessarily transcends to the transparency of what you're selling, you know. So thank you for that. We have another question just came in. Now this question is, how can we engage influencers if we don't have a big budget? How should we DM them? How should we direct message them or talk to them?
I feel a lot of people think that you need to contact influencers that have like 50K, 60K, 100K. But usually, I think because these influencers are used to getting paid for campaigns, they might not be as responsive to your direct messages when you contact them about sponsorships without payment or collaborations. So rather, actually, I think there's a trend moving more towards micro influencers, maybe 10,000, 20,000. These influencers are like, maybe they just started and they have a lot of passion and they don't mind doing reviews for you for free with just sponsorship of the products. And I feel a lot of maybe audiences feel like they are more relatable, and also because their sharings are, because it's not paid campaigns, they are more able to like I mentioned, share like the pros and cons as well. And some of them, those younger ones, are really not afraid to tell you, I don't think this product works. So I think they have built quite a good amount of credibility with their customers and with their audiences, and these audiences will very readily become your customers if you engage them.
Yeah, and I think also like just to add on to what you said, I think that when a major influencer posts a product or a post about a product for that matter, and does a review, sometimes it lies on a very thin line of risking to sound like it's a paid post and like she's paid to say all the good things, you know. So perhaps like you mentioned, you know, it's always better to go with micro influencers if you don't have the budget. Of course, if you do, go right ahead. If you're going to like engage someone who has a huge, massive following, that's all right as well. Now, speaking of risk, what do you think are some of the risks that influencer entrepreneurs have to face?
I think because like in the e-commerce world nowadays, there's more drama. So I think like when another seller of the same brand that I'm selling causes trouble, people usually come to us for answers when it's really not something within my control. Like this brand seller said like some bad words about another brand, and then people are like, hey, how come your seller said this? I'll be like, actually we are just taking the same products from the same company, but we're not like directly related, and I have no control over what she says. So I think this is the part that is a little bit risky, because when you put your name out there and people recognize you with a brand, when something happens to the brand or other sellers from that brand, it automatically links back to you. And also maybe some customers who personally do not like us will not give our online store a chance to sell them. Maybe because they don't like me personally, but the service that we provide via my online store is quite not bad service, I would like to think. But customers don't even get to experience that because they have a prejudice against you, compared to like if they were to shop on maybe another online store, Q10, or maybe just like shop beauty products, example, on Instagram. They're like, oh, okay, I'll just support this person without knowing whether like this person is a male or a female, how old or how young she is. So I think that's some of the risks that I'll have to face.
Right. It's almost like in human nature to just not like it's so easy to not like a person like from the beginning without even giving them a chance. So guys, if you can change something today, maybe let's change that, not to change that perception of that. Let's give people a chance. I mean, personally, you don't have to like the person. If you want the product, just get it. I mean, it's pretty much as simple as that. We have another question that just came in. This one's from Sam as well. Okay, so the question is, how do we seek out for such influencers with approximately 10K followers? Is it via Google search, or are there some ways on Instagram?
Actually, Instagram has this like explore page. So I think when you follow a few influencers,
Mm-hmm.
Instagram's algorithm will naturally like recognize that you are looking for maybe a similar group of people around the same range, or maybe a similar style, maybe be it like health and fitness influencers, or maybe beauty influencers, or those who like to travel. So Instagram's algorithm is really good, and they are able to track what kind of people you're looking for. So just follow one or two, and then like their photos, maybe comment on it, then automatically on your explore page you will see a lot more popping up, and then you have a lot more choices. Yeah. So maybe when you find a few potential ones, you can follow them and maybe like take note of their profiles, and then when you are launching your campaigns or you have new products, you can consider each of them, not all at once, maybe it'll be a bit spamish, but it's good to have a few more to consider.
Yeah, because also on another thing, the you got to remember that not everybody will actually reply to you. So it's always better to overreach, I would say, in that sense. Like, approach more of them and see who comes back to you, because it's like a birthday party. You can invite 10 people and only 5 people show up. It's that kind of logic.
It's really sad when they don't reply you. You're like, hi, I would like to sponsor you some products, and they just see you and they just leave you hanging there, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And they leave you on read, and it's like the saddest thing. And then you have to like go back there and like, hi, would you like to collaborate? It feels like the most pitiful thing to do, but it's part of e-commerce. So, okay. Another question just came in. So another compliment about Pixie Packs is that they got really nice photos. Do you use any photo editing software, or what equipment do you use to shoot? They look like world-class photos.
Thank you so much for the nice words. For Pixie Packs, usually I use my camera. Let me see, where's my camera right now.
Oh
Okay.
my God, is that a kitten in the background? You guys, there's a kitten in the background. No.
Her name is Chicken Wing because she's like as small as a chicken wing. This is the camera that I use. Actually, this is not like the perfect fit, but it's from Canon. So this is the EOS M50. So I use this for most of my photos since I bought the camera like some time back. But for let's say you're a new seller, I wouldn't recommend like going to buy a camera right away because they may cost a lot. Because I bought this like many years back, so I have no choice but to use it now. I feel smartphones nowadays actually are able to take really high quality photos as long as the lighting is good enough. And also remember to wipe the camera, because sometimes our hands like touch it and it gets really oily, and when you take photos you can see that it's blurry. But I think this is like a really simple tip that many people forget about and they miss out because it's not like a habit. But for me, whenever I take photos, I'll have to wipe it first, be it for the secondary camera or the primary camera. When you wipe it first, the photos become a lot sharper, and then you can edit them on many different apps. So some of the apps that I really like would be Snapseed.
Mhm.
Snapseed, Snow actually has really cute filters that are free, and also Snow can take really nice selfies. So if you're taking selfies, you can use Snow. I also like to use this app called Preview, Preview, and it's very good for organizing. Okay, maybe let me just show you guys like a little. So this is how I organize my photos. This is the Preview app. Example, I were to press on it. These are photos that I haven't uploaded on PixiePax. Oops.
So we're actually getting a preview here, guys.
You can actually shift around to see what is the best organization of photos you would like before you post them up on Instagram. And this app actually links back to Instagram. So once you like the way you are organizing, it's like fixing a puzzle. Like which photo goes first, which color gradient looks best. And then once you're happy with it, you can straight away post it on Instagram. And it's a bit like a draft for you to save captions. You can save captions and photos on this app. So you can plan ahead, and it's not like a very last minute, oh my God, what photo should I post today? Oh my God, I need like a photo. What can I post? So usually I'll dedicate some time to preparing marketing materials, taking photos for the products, and then editing them with the same filter on Lightroom. I do use Lightroom on my computer, but we have to pay for that. So if you don't have Lightroom, actually you can go for Snapseed as well. Okay, maybe I type out the app name. Is it okay?
Yes, I'm gonna just reply. You do that to the comments. I'll do this to this one question here. So
Snapseed.
we're dividing and conquering. Snapseed, no preview, and
Oops. Oh, the answer can't be seen. Okay.
Lightroom.
Snapseed, Lightroom, Snow app, and Preview.
Yeah.
So these are some of the apps that I commonly use. I think if let's say you are busy and on the go and you don't have time to shoot on the spot, actually You don't have to use a camera, you use your smartphone, you are able to have a whole series of similar photos. And also because like for Snow app, right, there is a filter that you can choose. So whenever you take photos of products, you can try to just use back the same filter. So that reduces the post-processing needed when you are editing the photos, because all will be taken with the same filter already.
Okay, fantabulous. Oh my God, like time is just flying by. It's almost 12. What is happening? I've got so many things I want to ask you. Okay, guys, just hang on to your questions. Now, Rachel, I wanted to ask you, how has the circuit breaker actually affected you in your business? Because I'm sure a lot of people have had the effects. So how has it affected you, and what have you done to overcome it?
I think most people chose to shop online during the circuit breaker period. And because when you work from home, you have more time to like pamper yourselves using the products, and you are able to more consistently use the products. Because with a lot of the products that I sell, the best results come when you consistently use them. So example, we have like a natural detox product at our store, and customers would start their detox journey during the circuit breaker period. So a number of online sellers also feedback that they receive an increase in online sales, and it did better during the circuit breaker period. But there was also a period of time when the cases of COVID-19 increased, and then all the parcel deliveries were put on halt to like reduce movement in the community, and then all the pickups from residential addresses weren't allowed. So a lot of customers started to like, oh, I don't want to buy because I won't receive it within 2 to 3 days. Because as I mentioned earlier, one of the things that we pride ourselves with is that you can receive it really quickly. So the business was affected during the period where a lot of deliveries were not allowed. And then we had to tell customers, I'm really sorry, but I have to follow government regulations. So I'm not able to send out as quickly as you would like me to. Yeah. So that was when the business was a bit like stagnant.
Okay. Now, besides Instagram, do you use any other social media platforms to bring customers to your website?
Actually, I do like post on Google Ads, and then I think word of mouth is really strong as a way of promoting your website. Example, I provide good service, I mail it really quickly, and then customers will actually like recommend their friends to come in and like, hey, you can buy from this seller. I think she's not bad and she's quite accountable, quite a credible seller selling authentic products. So I think word of mouth is really still one of the best, because very quickly you are able to see customers who are like, oh, I got recommended from my friend from Zumba that your magnetic lashes last for really long, so I'm here to buy it. And then one of them wear it, they go for a Zumba class via Zoom, and then everyone would come and buy from me. There was a period of time where it was like this during the circuit breaker. So I think word of mouth is still really important. And then giveaways actually are not bad on Instagram, on Facebook, because with an incentive, people are naturally more inclined to share about your page, especially if you're a new seller. But of course, before you go into like advertising, boosting ads and everything, I feel that your own platform has to be done neatly. You have to make sure it's well organized, and when people come in, because of the new gain in traffic, they want to stay. It's like we usually say like your Instagram or your shopping platform is like your home. It's like a home that you need to tidy up before you invite guests over, because if the guests come in and it's a mess, they wouldn't want to stay for long on your page.
Yeah, and I think there's this mentality, like especially from like not to offend anybody, but maybe slightly older generations, that because I do understand this from a certain point of view, that back then times were tough, so they had to sell, 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 sell. And now I think the attention has kind of shifted to more of an aesthetic view. So things have to look nice before you can start selling. You know, your packaging has to be done. You have to have your team ready to go, you know, in terms of customer service, your logistics, all these little things, the branding experience. I think it makes the whole big picture. And if you were just to use that kind of old traditional method of selling straight away, I think that would really take a huge impact on your brand, because people are saying, okay, this brand is not ready. They're kind of like, you know, half here, half there. I'm not sure if I want to continue this. So I think that really affects, you know, a customer's decision. And we also have another question here. Let's see. How do you continually add value to your brand and stay ahead of your competitors who are selling similar products?
I think for myself, creating an identity for the brand is definitely important. Example, I would try to bring in more products that I feel are good to use, and customers will give good reviews, so they would like trust the next product that I bring in, and then they'll trust the next recommendation that we talk about. So convenience for customers, I feel, is important. And then also always having ready stocks. I know this part might be quite difficult for new sellers who are like just starting out, because it's a bit of a risk in terms of capital, because you need to first stock up on the products. But I feel when you have in stocks of the products and you are willing to take that leap of faith, customers will more readily buy from you because they want to receive it soon. I mean, I think I speak for all of us when I say that we don't like to wait for products. I would want to, like, when I place an order, I hope it comes the next day. So this kind of experience, I think when you are able to give it to your customers, they'll feel like, okay, in future, I'll just buy from her. I wouldn't buy from somebody who's selling it at like $5, $10 cheaper, because I'm too lazy to wait. Like if I need a product, I need it now. And most of the time when I buy a product, example like a hair conditioner or like a face wash, it's usually when I totally run out of it. You know,
Yeah.
we already have so many things going on in life, and like it's so difficult to plan ahead for even like toiletries and like things that I want to eat. I would just buy takeaway straight away, and it's not like, oh, okay, I'm going to pre-order for the food 2 days later to deliver to my place. So I think having in stocks, providing good service, efficient deliveries would definitely help. And then creating an identity for the brand, maybe like you pack your parcels really nicely, or you bubble wrap it to ensure that your products are always intact and safe for the customers and not like damaged. You know, if like let's say you were to send via a cheaper courier and they damage the parcels, regardless of how cheaply you send, you sell the products, people might just like, oh, I rather buy from someone who actually cares about the products.
Yeah. And like I think maybe what you're trying to also say, like in a nutshell, is like to try, emphasis on the word try and do things right, do them once, you know, because like you said, if you package your product with I recently bought something off online, and I think it was a makeup palette. Yeah, it was a makeup palette, and they actually came with like this thick bubble wrap. So there's makeup palettes here, and the bubble wrap was like this thick, and I was so impressed because like this seller took so much effort and so much bubble wrap to make sure that nothing happened to this tiny palette. And like to me, I will definitely buy from this person again. I mean, so I think from an e-commerce perspective, if you have to spend a little bit more to ensure your product arrives safely, I think that's a very good deal. You know, it's a win-win on both situations. Your customer is happy, you're happy, and they would likely bring in more customers, like you said. You know. So yes, thank you for that question. Keep them coming. We still have a little bit more time. I think we can pull this for another 5 minutes because I know we started a little bit late. Sorry about that. Now, throughout your session here, we've talked about your successes and all that, but I always like to say that failure is actually an integral part of your journey to success. And I think it's a very human thing that everybody stumbles once in a while. So, what was your first failure like, and like, what do you take away from that?
I think when I first got into online selling, many people approached me to take stocks of their brands to sell. And there was this girl whom I know online for some time back, and then she gave me a very convincing pitch about her product. So back then I wasn't very experienced at identifying which companies are credible and which aren't. So I paid her about like $5,000 for stocks. And in the end, it was like delayed for months before it reached me. And it was supposed to reach me around like Christmas time, when it was like the gifting period, because the product is not like very cheap. So it's like a good gift, but it's not something that you probably would buy on a normal basis, like for everyday use. It's more like a presentable gift for other people. So on their end, there was like very minimal marketing materials, and then there was no trainings, no updates from the company side, and then the stocks were like stuck with me for many months. So I feel like it's quite an expensive lesson for me, and it does make me take note of the brands that I bring in future. So now I realize that when you sell things online, you're not just being a sales girl. You actually have to like attend trainings. You have to know about product knowledge, and people are going to ask you questions that are like, if I'm diabetic, will I be able to take this product? If I have eczema, will I be able to use this product? So you need to like prepare all this information beforehand before you even sell the products. And initially when I started, I had no idea how to like close a deal, because people would message me on Instagram, and I would just copy paste the entire product information to my customers, and then a lot of people would just leave me hanging there. And I'm like, but I typed the right thing. What am I what am I doing wrong? So initially I stumbled a lot, and I was really like confused as to why people were not buying the products from me, although like I see other sellers doing well, and why are they not buying from me? Like you would think that, oh, because you have followers and people would buy from you naturally, but that's not true. When it comes to selling and replying customers, is a totally different ball game. Somebody who has like way lesser followers than you can sell a lot better than you, just because they are able to answer to the customers' concerns, and they are more equipped with the product knowledge that can help the customers. So that was something that I really like learned over the months that I've been selling stuff.
That's very nice. Okay, so in relation to this, we actually have a question. Now, this one comes from Serene. Now, Serene's question is, how did you recover selling the excess inventory you were stuck with?
I think for me, because I would now be able to identify the products that my customers prefer to purchase, the price range that they are comfortable with. So I try to put my focus on that and try to think of the products that I took in wrongly as like, okay, it's a sunk cost. I'm not gonna think about it. Maybe I can give to my customers as a free gift, or maybe like I could, because after all, these are brands that do not allow you to in a way throw pricing at that. They don't let you to do your own discounts and all this. So what I can do is give as free gifts, or maybe I can just use on my own. So I mean, it's a lot of product to use on my own. So for regular customers, I'll actually like put them in their parcel, so it's like an extra free gift. Like Carol mentioned earlier, I paid for this product and I got an extra product, and that product is not like a cheap product. So I think customers will be happy, like, wow, I received this, yeah, this free thing. So I think a lot of online sellers, maybe they would focus on like, oh my God, I cannot make a single loss. They would think I cannot even lose like $1. I have to sell every single product that I have. But I think when you really want to expand the business and to do a bit bigger, you cannot focus so much on the negative side where like, I made a mistake bringing in this product. I'm going to harp on this mistake and just make sure I don't make a loss. I think that takes up a lot of like effort and mentality to like put it over there, but rather you would rather spend your effort on like, how do I grow the business for products that are doing well? How do I let more people know about this good product that actually moves? Yeah, so I think shifting a focus towards the positive instead of the negative would really help you enjoy your selling journey online more.
Yeah, I think that's very, very good advice. So, Serene, thank you for that question. We're gonna. Oh, okay, another one just came in. You serve primarily ladies between 20 to 40. Do you have plans to open a new customer segment, and do you have plans to make? Do you have plans to market to that new target audience?
Okay. Mainly for Pixie Packs because I'm around this age range. I'm 30, so just right smack in the center. I do serve 20 to 40 at the moment, and because I don't have kids, I have cats. So I think maybe my customers are mainly those without kids at the moment. Moms generally do not buy from me because they don't relate to me. So we do have like, because when I do direct selling, if I take a big enough quantity, I can actually act as a supplier to other agents. So in a way, I do supply to agents who are moms or agents who are slightly above 20 to 40. So they do help me reach out to this audience, which is why I feel that direct selling actually is the way that people are going to market their products in future, because instead of engaging influencers to market your product, you are getting like normal everyday people like us to talk about products, and they may be a young lady, they may be a student, they may be like a mom or somebody else's mom that's like 50, 60 years old, and they are also benefiting from these products. So I think that is like the direction that the brands are going for in future.
And I also think that keeps things very relatable, if you approach the everyday person. So that's very nice to know. So Rachel, how do you deal with burnout? Because you have to, I think at some point everybody burns out, right? And I think to consistently post so much content and to keep it so aesthetic, how do you deal with all that pressure?
I think good time management definitely helps. So like I mentioned, usually we will assign like a day or two to do like a very extensive product shoot and get really, really tired at the end of the day. And then the next day, I would spend the entire day Lightroom filtering all the photos to make sure they look the same. And then I would actually use the preview app, which I mentioned earlier, to organize the photos. So I actually have like 1 month ahead postings planned already. So when
Wow.
it comes when I have to post, I wouldn't feel like, oh my God, I have nothing to post and I panic. And I think that is something that stresses people out because you are not well prepared. So just like, in school, you have to study for your exams. This is like studying for my exam in the direct selling way. I prepare my photos in advance, my postings, and then also for my personal Instagram, because sometimes it's very difficult to juggle both. So when I plan ahead and have all these postings ready, I can plan for more content creation, because I also do not want to neglect my personal Instagram. And because I do less paid campaigns on my personal Instagram already, I can actually do more like organic content. So like things that I really want to share, things that, maybe sharing about my cats, something that is really relaxing for me and something that I really have passion about, I can share it on my personal Instagram instead of like everything is like ads, ads, ads. I think maybe there was a period of time where we lose focus and we do a lot of like paid campaigns, and customers or audiences, when they scroll through, you're like, oh, that's another paid ad, that's another paid ad, and they feel bored looking at it. So I think now it's like a good balance, because if it doesn't like in a way destroy my source of income because I'm not doing ad campaigns, but I'd rather shift my focus to my online store for income, and then my personal Instagram is a lot more for like fun now.
Yeah, and I think at any point, if you get overwhelmed, there's a plus side, for you, because you've got 5 cats. You just take each one, give them a big cuddle. I can't do that. My dogs. I mean, yeah, one of my dogs is a cuddler, but she's kind of slobbery, so I don't like that either. But I think you've got 5 wonderful fur babies. I would love to have a session with them one day, but that's for another time. Okay, so to close things up, we're running a little bit out of time. Let's just do one last question, and I think just to come full circle with our session here, how do you think social media influencers are changing the e-commerce game?
I think we now see products getting launched quicker. There's like a new product every few like months or every few like weeks. And then more products are being eliminated by influencers through full comparisons and reviews. Like I mentioned, the younger micro-influencers who are not afraid to speak up, they would be so ready to trash a product that is not effective and like, this is a scam, do not buy this. You see products getting eliminated very quickly, which in a way is a good thing, because if it's not effective, people shouldn't waste money on them. And then the area between like a sponsored post and a genuine recommendation is getting a bit more blurry and less defined when people are sharing about products in a more balanced view. So sometimes it might be like a paid campaign or a sponsored product, but because of the way the posting is made in a very balanced view, you might be like, oh, I think it's a genuine sharing. So I think this is one of the things that I noticed. And also many brands are able to very quickly gain recognition, like a newly launched brand, through all the influencers' recommendations, and they can become the next big hype thing. So I think a lot of brands are aiming to recruit influencers to sell their brand of products, because that is like a very quick way where they don't have to pay the influencers for the campaign. They don't have to pay them any physical money. They let you hype up the products, and the influencer gets to earn the income from selling the product through the profit margin. And like, there's a lot of hype going on for the product, be it customers buy from the influencers or other sellers of that brand. Yeah, so I think a lot of products are getting hyped up, and then like the spicy sour glass noodles. I don't know if so that the mala oden and the swan lafen, all these things are getting like hyped up really big. And then previously it was like a bubble mask. Bubble face mask. And then what else is there? The hand sanitizers thing was also like a good, I think a good example of like how a small product like this that can be quickly blown up through like all these influencers that are on e-commerce selling the same like small little hand sanitizer.
Or like in your case, it was the beauty blender. Okay, so Rachel, I'm going to have to wrap things up now. We actually have 2 more questions in the Q&A box. So if you could go ahead and answer those at your own time once we wrap up your session, that'd be great. But for now, I will have to say goodbye to you. I cannot believe that I didn't get to finish my list of questions here, but I suppose it is what it is. Well, thank you so much for coming on board and being a part of the Singapore E-commerce Fest 2020. Guys, don't forget to check out Pixie Packs on Instagram. And I'd like to wish you all the best. And it's been so nice to talk to you face to face. You enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you around, Rachel.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye.
All right, bye.
Exabytes. Grow your business online.